Hi, this is Ellen in McCauley in Syracuse, New York. Tonight we're having some witnessing, and there's nothing like hearing the success of someone else. Because the first thing you think is, if they can do it, maybe I can too. And I wanted to call upon someone from table 2 who has lost and kept off 50 pounds with the Pray It Off program. And I want you to hear how someone who owns a restaurant can lose that amount of weight and keep it off. John Melnyczuk, come on up, John.
Thank you. Good evening, everybody.
Good evening, John.
I want to talk about exercise today. But before I get into how important it is and the subject of exercise, I want to give you a little history about myself and PIO. I started PIO, this is my 4th session. Last year was a very successful year. I think I lost most of the weight then. And it goes before that even. I have to thank my wife, Stephanie. I would never be here without her. And those 60 pounds that I lost are thanks to her. So give her a great hand because I would not be here. I don't know, I'd probably be another 40 pounds heavier and have more health issues. But I want to talk about what worked for me in the past 3 sessions. And I want to start out with the 4 glasses of water. And I say 4, I know you said 8, but I drink pints. So that's the same amount. If you drink 8 cups, it's like drinking 4 pints of water a day at least. And on days like this, or if it's more humid and hot, I'd probably drink 6. So it's very important. And those 4 glasses of water in the first 2 weeks of PIO, I was on the verge of being a diabetic. I had the diabetic conditions, I had all the signs. I had to run to the bathroom to urinate more frequently than ever. And those 4 glasses of water in the first 2 weeks, before I hardly lost any, I think I lost 5 or 10 pounds the first 2 weeks, but the 4 glasses of water were so important. It turned the whole thing around. I looked at my blood sugar and it turned to be normal. And I blame those 4 glasses of water for doing that. So that was one of the big things and big turning points in my life, PIO. The second thing, Helen presented to us at one of the sessions is eating with a fork. Well, eating with one of these forks. That made the biggest difference in my life, just downsizing the size of the amount of food I put in my mouth. Instead of 3 ounces or an ounce at a time, you go down to about 1/4 of an ounce, and you can even say grams. Maybe it's like 10 grams here on this fork. So that was very important, presenting something like this, and it kind of tricks your body into it. And you'd be surprised how fast you get filled up when you slow down. So that works very well, or at least it did for me. The next thing, and I'm still addicted to ice cream, but I don't eat the whole jar or the whole Ben & Jerry's anymore. Even half of it I don't eat. I take one of these, a butter knife, and you can use a baby spoon, but I couldn't find any laying around. I know we had a bunch of them. But I use this, and I'll just dig around there, and after about 3 or 4, maybe 5 on a good day, I'll put it away. And this works very well too. So that helped lose that 60 pounds. The next thing is the bite of the 1,000 chews. Now that was the hardest thing I think I ever did in my life. You try, it's like, it's breathing. You're breathing food down, and then you try not to breathe so heavily. So now you're doing a bite full of food with a small fork, and you're trying to make it last real long. And you do gain a lot of pleasure out of the food, and digesting the food, it's very, very helpful to your body. I noticed it within several sessions. The next morning it was presented to me and how my food was being digested versus the way it used to be digested. So that's very important also. Another thing Alan brought to my attention, which I'm proud of that I did myself way back, even before I joined PIO. I got a pair of jeans hanging in my mirror. And it's very important that you hang them on the mirror, I feel. Now, if I lived alone, I probably want to hang them on the refrigerator, but I can't do that. Right? So I hang them on the mirror, because every time I walk by them or look at them, I see myself in that mirror, and I see those jeans that I can't remember who bought them for me for Christmas, maybe 4 or 5 years ago. I can't fit in them. I couldn't fit them in that night. I tried them on, and they've been hanging there probably for 2 or 3 years, even before I joined PIO, and that is a motivator. And sooner or later, I am determined to fit into those jeans once again and present them. Whoever gave them to me, I'm saying, look, I held on to your Christmas present since 2008, and I'm wearing it now, and it still works for me. So I want to talk, those things work for me. Now, I want to tell you something about my personal history. I spent 8 years in the Marine Corps. I know what exercise is all right. My drill instructor told me way back, you can eat anything you want, but you will pay for it on the drill field or on the obstacle course field or personal training field or on a weight circuit course. We will pay for the extra food we eat. And he did. We paid for it well. I think probably I ate 5,000 calories at a point in my life, but when you ran 3 miles in the morning and then put another 3 in the afternoon, and all that physical training, every place we went, we ran, and we always were in sweat, always sweating. There's puddles of sweat in front of us. It's very humid and hot there. I lost, in boot camp, I went in at 214 pounds, so I guess it isn't in my genes to be heavy, but when I got out, it was 185 pounds. So I lost 20 pounds, more than 25 pounds that I didn't need to be on my back, because it took the place of the backpack that I had to carry, and I figured the less weight I had on my body, the easier it would be carrying that load. We used to call it exercise, because we always did extra in the Marine Corps. But I just want to let you know, I'm a prime example of what happened to me as far as buying a restaurant when I got out of the Marine Corps. I'm a prime example of the weight that I gained. And I started eating the same way that I always did, but I stopped exercising. So I'm a prime example. I know how important it was. And I thought, well, moving around, working at the restaurant, it's not the same. You have to run, you have to do the cardiopulmonary exercises, you have to do the bends and thrusts, you have to do the mountain climbers, you have to do all the stuff I used to do that I never did before. And, you know, after 30 years, you gained all that weight. And it's not going to take, I realize one thing, it's not going to take 30 days to lose it. It might not even take 3 years to lose it and to get back to where you used to be. It might take your lifetime to lose it, to get it back there. But you can't give up. That's the thing. And I wore my Marine Corps shirt today, and I want to show you what it says in the back. And it is very painful.
Pain, let me read it.
It says,
pain is weakness leaving the body.
yes,
Pain is weakness leaving the body.
It was very painful to exercise. I learned that when I first few days of boot camp. It was so hard, and not just for me, for a lot of guys. Now the guys that were athletically inclined and had physiques and done this all their life, it was a breeze. But for some guys, we were really challenged, and I wish I strived more in high school and at the gym and all these other swimming classes that I, didn't do as well at in my growing up days. And now you had to do it, and you had to do it to the best of your ability as quick as possible. And at the end of boot camp, I had great results. I ran 3 miles in 18 minutes, so I got 100 points for that. I did 88 sit-ups in 1 minute. That was 100 points for that. My thing still was hard as doing the pull-ups. If you did 20 pull-ups, you'd get 100 points. I just got up to 14. That was the best I could do. But I always worked on it, and I wanted to get up, and then in the next 8 years, I was up to 20. So I was maxing the PFT for many years. And like I said earlier, I bought a restaurant when I got out, and I kept eating like I used to. And I should have cut right down, but it was like programmed. I used to eat that food so fast, it was like I was like in a chow hall. The last one, the shortest guy, when the tallest person's done, we're all done. So I was on the short end of the totem pole. There was guys who were always 6'3", 6'4" in front of me. They were done. So we wolfed the food. All the short guys would eat the food so fast, and I just was programmed to inhale it. And like I said, exercise is the key to losing at least 50% of your goal weight. Like I lost 60 pounds up till now just by eating 50% of what I used to eat. But now I've realized that I plateaued out. The third session, and the records prove it. I've been fluctuating 10 pounds within a 10-pound margin. And it just goes to show you that what I've been doing is not working anymore. And you have to take that extra step and exercise. And I know by doing that and putting that in my program, I'm going to reach my goal by Christmas. Whoa. So I just want to let you know that I'm determined to do this, and exercise is going to be in my program for the next few months and hopefully for the rest of my life. I always gave an excuse that, oh, you had a motorcycle accident in 2008, you can exercise. So what I did in my own mind, well, we just redefined some things. It's not exercise anymore for me. This is going to be therapy.
Yeah. Now, John, I want to remind you, don't overdo it when you start out. And also, I want to clarify, beautiful job, both guys. Harold went through 6 months and didn't miss a meeting. He paid the dues. The second session, if someone has a legitimate excuse, I thought it was far better for him to be out exercising. I will take that as an excuse, especially someone who's doing so well. And I misspoke. John has lost 60 pounds and kept it off. Thank you. And I'm going to stop right there, Bob.